Hello, in today's video we'll be replacing the accessory belt, otherwise known as a serpentine belt, whichever you prefer to call it. One of the reasons we're replacing it is due to the fact that it squeals at startup in colder weather, but more so for the fact it has a lot of small cracks on it, and those small cracks can make this belt suddenly tear apart. This belt is really important to maintain because of all the things it drives. This one belt keeps your water pump spinning and cooling your engine, your alternator charging, your AC working, and your power steering working. And if this belt was to suddenly tear off, all those accessories would just quit working. To replace this belt, the only tool that we'll need is a 3/8 drive ratchet. The longer the ratchet you use, the easier it'll be to pull tension off of the belt. So what we'll need to do is push the square end of the ratchet into the tensioner square, and you'll want to rotate it clockwise so it releases tension. Once you release enough, you'll need to hold the ratchet in place as you remove the belt off of a pulley. And you'll also have to repeat this when installing the new belt. So let's get started. I use the ratchet from up top, rotating and releasing tension off of the belt with one hand, and using the other to remove the belt off of a pulley. Once you get the belt off, you can slowly release tension off of the tensioner. But unfortunately I got my ratchet stuck. The tensioner pulled back more than I expected it to travel without the belt. But for now I'll leave it there till I install the new belt and can get it off. Now we can just continue taking the belt off the remaining pulleys and pulling the belt up and out as we do. You'll have to maneuver the belt around many things, so you'll have to be patient with it. And the belt is finally off. Let's take a closer look at the old belt. If you notice any of these cracks on your belt, you'll want to make sure that you replace it before it has a chance to tear on you. Just look at how big some of these cracks are. But the first sign of a worn or stretched out belt may be that squeal that you hear in the mornings when you start your car. So that could be a warning sign to check your belt for any of these types of cracks. Many vehicles will have a belt diagram like this one that give you a layout of how your belt should be ran across your accessories. This is the new accessory belt that I'll be installing on this truck. Now to install the new belt. Installing a belt on this many accessories can get quite frustrating, so you want to be patient as you're getting it around all the accessories, but I'll show you the best way I've found to do it. Start by feeding the belt down slowly, starting with the main center balancer pulley, and I work my way from the bottom up. From underneath, I try to make sure that I get it all around the pulley, if the belt would work with me, of course. Once I get it around that pulley, I pull on it, keeping tension with my hand, this way it doesn't have a chance to come off, and I slowly feed more belt as I guide it around the lower pulleys. I work the belt around all the pulleys except for the alternator, which is the easiest to access. Once I get it around all the other pulleys, I pull it up as far as I can towards the alternator to get it ready, trying to make sure that the rest of the belt stays in place. Now I pull up on the ratchet, which releases tension off the tensioner, and guide the belt onto the last pulley, which is the alternator. Now I go across all the pulleys, making sure that the belt is properly seated and in the grooves. After verifying that the belt is on properly, on these belts, you don't really have to worry about belt tension, since the tensioner does that automatically. But they do wear out, so a quick test is to rotate the belt. A good adjustment lets you only go 90 degrees in either direction. If it were too loose, you'll be able to go more, and too tight, you won't get the full 90. We can now start the truck and listen for any abnormal noises, and check to make sure that the belt is traveling as it should, and so far it looks like everything is good. Well, that just about does it for this video. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. If so, please click that thumbs up button to support my video and my channel, and please subscribe if you haven't done so.